Hello, Virgo. Let me be very clear about what trying to destroy you actually means because this isn't metaphorical or exaggerated warning. This is someone taking actions, not just harboring resentment or jealousy in private, though those are probably the motivations, but converting those feelings into actual strategic moves designed to harm you. They're spreading information that damages your credibility. They're poisoning relationships by telling lies or half truths to people who matter in your life. They're creating obstacles to opportunities you're pursuing. They're actively interfering with your peace, your progress, your position, and they're doing it in ways calculated to avoid direct attribution. They're not confronting you openly. They're not being obviously hostile. They're being covert, which makes them harder to identify and harder to defend against because you can't fight enemy. You can't see clearly. Some people hear someone's trying to destroy you and think it sounds paranoid, dramatic, conspiracy minded, but betrayal from people you trust is common. People absolutely sabotage others for reasons ranging from jealousy to self preservation to just enjoying the power of destroying something someone else built. And dismissing the possibility because it sounds dramatic is exactly what allows these people to operate unchecked until the damage is extensive. Let me describe what covert destruction looks like when someone's executing it skillfully. It looks like someone being sympathetic to your face while undermining you behind your back. They listen to your concerns, validate your feelings, act like supportive friend or colleague or family member. But then they take what you've shared, your vulnerabilities, your plans, your fears, and weaponize that information in spaces you're not present in. They tell others things you said, but with strategic context removed so your words sound worse than they were. They share your struggles as gossip disguised as concern. They reveal things you told them in confidence to people who can use that information against you. Or it looks like someone creating chaos in your life while positioning themselves as helpful. They offer to assist with something important and then sabotage it, make mistakes that seem accidental but create real problems for you. They volunteer information or connections and then ensure those connections go badly. They create crises and then offer to help resolve them so you're grateful even though they caused the problem. Or it looks like someone slowly turning others against you through consistent, subtle messaging. They don't make dramatic accusations. They just plant seeds, little comments, concerned observations, strategic questions that make others start doubting you or seeing you differently. I'm worried about them. They seem really stressed lately. Have you noticed they've been acting different? I don't want to say anything but. And these seeds grow over time until people's perception of you has shifted without you doing anything to deserve that shift. Some people are masterful at social engineering, at manipulating group dynamics, at positioning themselves as reasonable person expressing legitimate concerns while actually executing campaign to isolate you and damage your standing in communities that matter to you. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider whose helpful behavior toward you has consistently resulted in things getting worse instead of better. Maybe someone who offers advice that always seems logical, but somehow leads to outcomes that harm you. Or someone who gets involved in your situations and somehow the situations become more complicated instead of resolved. Or someone who's present for all your difficulties but never actually helps improve anything. That might not be incompetence, that might be design. Or maybe someone whose concern for you always seems to require them telling other people your business, who can't help you without broadcasting your struggles to entire social circle, who performs care publicly while ensuring everyone knows you're struggling, which damages your reputation even as they claim to be supporting you. That's not support, that's strategic reputation damage disguised as concern. This reflection invites you to consider who knows the most about your vulnerabilities and who has access to share that information with people who could use it against you. There's something specific about the motivations behind this kind of destruction that matters, because understanding why someone would do this helps you identify why might be doing it. The most common motivation is jealousy. They want something you have or something they perceive you're getting that they're not. Success, attention, relationship, opportunity, recognition, and they've decided that instead of building their own, they'll try to take yours or prevent you from having it. Some people can't stand watching others win, especially if they perceive themselves as deserving what you're getting. They feel entitled to what you have, and your possession of it feels like theft to them, even though you earned it or received it fairly. Another common motivation is competition for scarce resource. Maybe you're both going for same position, same person, same opportunity, and they've decided that destroying your viability is easier or more certain than outcompeting you legitimately. In zero sum situations, some people choose sabotage over excellence. They'd rather bring you down than raise themselves up. Or the motivation is protection of their own position. Maybe you discovering certain truth threatens them. Maybe you succeeding threatens their standing. Maybe you being around threatens relationship or dynamic they want to preserve. So they try to remove you as threat by damaging you enough that you're no longer in position to threaten them. Or, and this is darkest one, the motivation is just malice. They don't gain anything concrete from your destruction. They just enjoy it. They like having power over you. They like watching you suffer. They like being architect of someone else's downfall. Those people exist. Not many, but enough. And they're most dangerous because their actions aren't even serving rational self-interest. They're just expressing cruelty for its own sake. This reflection invites you to consider who in your life might feel threatened by your success or progress. Let me address what you need to do right now to protect yourself, because waiting to see if this warning proves accurate could cost you significantly. First, audit your circle. Look at who has access to sensitive information about you, your plans, your struggles, your strategies, your vulnerabilities, and start reducing that access immediately for anyone you have any doubt about. You don't need to accuse anyone. You don't need to confront. You just stop sharing. You give vague answers instead of detailed ones. You keep your cards closer to your chest. You operate with more privacy than you have been. Second, watch for patterns of accidents or misunderstandings that consistently work against you. If same person keeps being associated with things going wrong, That's not coincidence, that's data. Document those instances, write down dates, what happened, who was involved. Pattern recognition is harder when everything's just in your memory. Written records make patterns obvious. Third, verify information before acting on it, especially if it comes from someone you're suspicious of. Don't take their word as truth. Don't assume they're telling you complete story. Check with other sources. Look for confirmation. People sabotaging you often feed you bad information to make you make bad decisions. Verifying protects you from acting on deliberate misinformation. Fourth, strengthen your other relationships. If someone's trying to isolate you by turning others against you, counteract that by being more present and authentic with people who matter. Don't let one person's whisper campaign be the only information others have about you. Show up, be consistent. Let your actual character speak louder than someone else's manufactured narrative. Fifth, secure your physical and digital space. If someone's trying to destroy you, they might be accessing your information through your devices, your spaces, your accounts. Change passwords, check privacy settings. Be more cautious about what you leave accessible. This might sound paranoid, but people absolutely do snoop through others' phones, emails, documents when given opportunity. Don't give opportunity. This reflection invites you to consider what information about you would be most damaging if it got into wrong hands, and how could you protect that information better. There's something about timing and why this warning is coming now that matters. You might be approaching something significant, success, opportunity, transition, revelation, that makes this person's window for effective sabotage closing. So they're escalating, taking bigger risks, being less careful about covering their tracks. And that escalation is what's making their actions more visible, more detectable, more stoppable if you pay attention. Or you might have just done something or be about to do something that threatens their position more than anything before has threatened it. And that elevated threat level is triggering elevated sabotage attempts. Watch for increased contact from suspicious person, increased offers to help, increased questions about your plans or circumstances. That increase isn't renewed care, it's intelligence gathering for their next move. Or timing might just be that their long game is reaching execution phase. They've been laying groundwork for a while, collecting information, positioning pieces, preparing field, and now they're ready to activate whatever they've been building toward, which means defensive action on your part is urgent, not something you can get to eventually. This reflection invites you to consider, what are you approaching in your life that someone might want to prevent you from achieving? Let me be direct about what you should not do, because fear and anger make people make tactical errors that work against their own interests. Don't confront them publicly without evidence. Accusations without proof make you look paranoid or unstable, which serves their narrative if they're trying to damage your credibility. If you're going to confront, do it privately with specific examples and clear boundaries, or don't confront at all, just protect yourself and let their continued attempts expose them naturally. Don't try to turn others against them the way they're turning others against you. That makes you look vindictive and creates doubt about who's actually the problem. High road is frustrating but more effective long term. Don't let this consume all your energy. Yes, protect yourself. Yes, be vigilant. But don't let defending against them become your whole focus, because that's also a form of destruction. It pulls your attention away from building your life and redirects it entirely toward managing threat. Don't assume everyone is out to get you. This is about one person or maybe small group. Most people in your life are neutral or supportive. Don't damage good relationships by becoming so defensive and suspicious that you push away people who actually care about you. And don't do illegal or clearly unethical things to defend yourself or retaliate. Whatever they're doing, responding in ways that compromise your integrity gives them ammunition and puts you in vulnerable position legally or ethically. This reflection invites you to consider what would be your instinctive response to discovering who's sabotaging you, and is that response strategic or just emotional? Let me describe what happens when you successfully defend against someone trying to destroy you. Because successful defense doesn't always look like confrontation and exposure. Sometimes it just looks like their attempts failing. You protect your information so they can't weaponize it. You verify their claims so you don't act on false intelligence. You strengthen your relationship so their whisper campaign can't isolate you. You document their pattern so when they finally overreach, you have evidence. And eventually, one of two things happens. Either they give up because you've made yourself too hard a target and the effort isn't worth the minimal damage they're achieving, or they get sloppy because nothing's working and they escalate recklessly and expose themselves. Either outcome works in your favor. Either they stop or they reveal themselves. And once they're revealed, others see what you've been dealing with, and the threat diminishes because they lose the cover of appearing trustworthy. But getting to either outcome requires you staying disciplined, staying strategic, not giving them the reaction or mistake they're trying to provoke. You remain in complete control of how you respond to this threat. You can confront or evade, expose or simply protect, fight back or just build better defenses, all valid depending on severity and your resources. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has activated fear or anger or recognition. Maybe a specific person came to mind. Maybe incidents you dismissed as coincidence suddenly look like pattern. Maybe you're feeling paranoid and hoping this doesn't apply to you. Whatever you're feeling, honor it. Take what resonates, softly release the rest, trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had someone you trusted actively sabotage you, and did you see it coming, or were you blindsided? Drop your experience in the comments if you're comfortable. And this, when someone tries to destroy you, is exposing them or quietly protecting yourself the better strategy? You are in danger, someone is trying to destroy you, is less than has hone. Zero hash is greater than, and the danger is real, even if it sounds dramatic. Someone with access to your life is taking actions designed to harm you in ways that serve their interests or satisfy their malice. Not eventually, right